Mastering ISO 27001 Lead Auditor. An effective ISMS hinges on a lead auditor's scrutiny of incident response processes. Which factors would a lead auditor consider when evaluating the effectiveness of an organization's incident response processes within its Information Security Management System, ISMS? When evaluating the effectiveness of an organization's incident response processes within its Information Security Management System, ISMS, a lead auditor would consider the following factors. 1. Incident response policy and procedures. The lead auditor would verify that the organization has a clearly defined incident response policy and procedures that are aligned with the overall ISMS policy and objectives. The policy and procedures should outline the roles and responsibilities of the incident response team, incident classification, reporting, and escalation procedures, and the process for containing and eradicating incidents. 2. Incident identification and reporting. The lead auditor would assess whether the organization has a mechanism in place to identify and report incidents in a timely manner. This includes evaluating the organization's monitoring and detection capabilities, as well as the reporting channels for employees, customers, and third parties to report suspected incidents. 3. Incident classification and categorization. The lead auditor would review the organization's incident classification and categorization process to ensure that it is consistent, repeatable, and aligns with industry best practices. This includes evaluating the criteria for classifying incidents by severity, impact, and type, as well as the process for updating and refining the classification scheme. 4. Incident response team. The lead auditor would evaluate the incident response team's structure, roles, and responsibilities. This includes assessing the team's composition, skills, and expertise, as well as the process for communicating incident response roles and responsibilities to team members. 5. Incident containment and eradication. The lead auditor would examine the organization's process for containing and eradicating incidents, including the procedures for isolating affected systems, network segmentation, and data backup and recovery. The auditor would also assess the organization's crisis management processes and procedures for notifying stakeholders. 6. Incident analysis and root cause identification. The lead auditor would evaluate the organization's process for analyzing incidents to identify root causes and determining the potential impact on the organization. This includes assessing the tools and techniques used for incident analysis, as well as the process for documenting and reporting incident analysis results. 7. Incident response metrics and performance indicators. The lead auditor would review the organization's incident response metrics and performance indicators to ensure that they are relevant, measurable, and align with the ISMS objectives. This includes evaluating the organization's process for collecting, analyzing, and reporting incident response metrics, as well as the process for using metrics to improve incident response processes. 8. Incident response plan testing and training. The lead auditor would assess the organization's process for testing and exercising the incident response plan. This includes evaluating the organization's testing schedule, test plans, and test scenarios, as well as the process for training incident response team members and stakeholders. 9. Continuous improvement and lessons learned. The lead auditor would evaluate the organization's process for reviewing and improving incident response processes based on lessons learned from previous incidents. This includes assessing the organization's process for documenting lessons learned, identifying areas for improvement, and implementing changes to incident response processes. 10. Compliance with regulatory and legal requirements. The lead auditor would verify that the organization's incident response processes comply with relevant regulatory and legal requirements, such as data breach notification laws, industry standards, and contractual obligations. 11. Incident response plan maintenance. The lead auditor would review the organization's process for maintaining and updating the incident response plan to ensure that it remains relevant, effective, and aligned with the ISMS objectives. This includes evaluating the organization's process for reviewing and updating incident response procedures, as well as the process for communicating changes to stakeholders. 12. Stakeholder communication and awareness. the lead auditor would assess the organization's process for communicating incident response information to stakeholders, including employees, customers, and third parties. This includes evaluating the organization's process for raising awareness of incident response policies and procedures among stakeholders. 13. Incident response training and awareness. The lead auditor would evaluate the organization's process for providing training and awareness programs to incident response team members and stakeholders. This includes assessing the organization's process for developing and delivering training programs, as well as the process for evaluating the effectiveness of training. 14. Third-party dependencies and supply chain risks. The lead auditor would review the organization's process for managing third-party dependencies and supply chain risks that may impact incident response processes. This includes evaluating the organization's process for assessing and mitigating risks associated with third-party vendors and service providers. 15. Incident response budget and resource allocation. The lead auditor would assess the organization's process for allocating resources and budgeting for incident response activities. This includes evaluating the organization's process for allocating personnel, technology, and funding to support incident response processes. By evaluating these factors, a lead auditor can determine whether an organization's incident response processes are effective, efficient, and aligned with the ISMS objectives, and identify opportunities for improvement.